down please on your backs. Let's get that little bit there, bring myself a little bit closer, I think. So we did a lot of rolling about last week. This is a bit more classical this week, so there is some rolling like a ball and things like that, but we're going to do some of the bigger moves. So there are some twists and turns, but as ever, please just do what you can, listen to your body, and enjoy this first bit, yeah, where you just get to arrive and switch off from the rest of your day. So for the moment, you can lie down with your knees bent or straight. You could put, numerous amounts of cushions underneath your head to make yourself comfortable. And just start to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. And with every breath, just see if you can let go of any more tension in any part of your body. And that might be your jaw. Yeah, again, things are moving forwards fast again now, aren't they? I'm sure we're all looking forward to May the 17th, where we get to do a few more things. But, with that comes other stresses and strains. So just notice, maybe just put your tongue to the roof of your mouth, or just open your mouth and just notice if you've been clenching your teeth. See if you can let go of any tension around the throat, shoulders. And I really like this idea of putting my hands on the ribs and I'm not forcing them down, but just giving them a little bit of a touch, so you can feel the breath happen in your body, but also you can start to encourage the back to open up a little bit. You press the ribs down with the exhale, and inhale and let them fill up your hands. We're going to do some hip work shortly, but just for now, just start to think about your pelvis as two halves, and see if you can relax a little more through the sit bones. You breathe into the left side of your pelvis. You breathe into the right side of your pelvis. Can we just do, if you've got your legs straight, just bend the knees for a moment and just start to do a couple of pelvic tilts. Not to get anywhere, just to feel those sit bones relax and open as you tilt forwards, and they come gently together up towards the ceiling as you tilt back. Feel the feet into the ground, and then let's start moving the arms. So we're going to lift both arms up towards the ceiling. I want you to take them into a wider position. So you've almost got like a V shape. And then I'd like you to just lift one arm over the head as you reach the other one down to the hip. So they're going in opposition, and then they come back up, and then they swap over. So we call these toy soldier arms. That's it. And I would like you to reach back. This is something that we did last week, thinking about reaching through the middle finger. So there's a bit more effort there in the reach. Yeah, instead of just kind of taking the arms in one direction and then the other, we're reaching through that middle finger. Great. And try the palms facing in. And if that sort of annoys the shoulders, try the palms facing forwards and see how that changes things, if it makes it any more comfortable for you. Good. Just do a couple more each side. Trying to fill up the back of the mat, the whole of the torso. Good. Really nice. And then let the arms just gently come back down and rest. Your feet should be hip distance apart now, knees bent. You're going to allow the knees to roll away from one another and then just gently roll them back together. So just observe how your inner thighs, your adductors feel. And you might also notice if your pelvis wants to move when your legs go out and in. Again, if your pelvis is wanting to tip back, often indicates there's a bit of tightness through the adductors. There might even be some pain in the lower back from doing this move. And if that's the case, then just don't go as wide. Let's make it smaller, make it manageable. Just to be clear, the feet are hip distance apart, so make them a little bit wider. That's it, great. And then we'll go just one leg. So we'll just go 4 times on one leg. Inhale out, exhale in. I really love these hip openers for, well, they do what they say on the tin, particularly from, from if you've been working hard all day sitting. Okay, you just need to have this little moment, go to the other leg, 4 on the other side, where we can tell those muscles to lengthen a little bit, relax. Good, and it just deepens the back of the pelvis into the mat. Well done. Last little set we'll do with these. I'll just show you this way. Then I'm going to go let the tailbone and the sit bones relax, so your pelvis is in neutral. You're going to let one leg go out, then the other. And then you're going to draw the first leg back in, and then the second leg. Here we go. Out, out, in, in. You can put your hands on your hips for that one. I just lower your camera a bit, yeah. So just check that we're not moving the pelvis too much. And well done. So it's out, out, in, in. Good. And then just swap the leading leg. Again, out, out, in, in. This can really relax, even like the thoracic, once you start to open up through the hips, the rest of the spine starts to kind of come into alignment quite naturally. Good. And just make sure you've done even amount with the leading leg. Well done. Okay. So let's now come back to center. We're just going to do some little toe taps just to, again, warm you up through the bottom half of the abdominals. So you can keep your hands on your pelvis if you wish. Just observe the natural curves to your spine, and particularly the lumbar, because that's going to be challenged now. We're going to bring one leg up to tabletop. That's it. And then try and relax your jaw, your shoulders, your ribs as you bring the second leg up to tabletop. Good. Okay. So if you feel you need to tilt your pelvis back to hold this position and keep everything safe, that's fine. But if you are strong and you're feeling good with the natural curves, stay with the natural curves to the lower back. Okay. From here, you're going to tap one leg down towards the mat and then bring it back up. This is where you just start to work out where you're at. Okay. These are tough. Yeah, so you don't need to be touching the floor. You've just got to work out where you can get to without that pelvis wanting to tip forwards, or the ribs coming up is another indication that you've gone too far. Pain would also be, a big sign for I'm doing too much. So if that's the case, you want to bring those knees in and just do a single leg. Lovely. Let's do 2 more each leg. Good. And how are you using the breath to help you with these moves? Good. Hope you're not holding your breath. Give those legs a little hug in. Fabulous. Place them down back on the floor. And then reach your arms up towards the ceiling, interlace your fingers, pull your elbows apart. Okay, so you start to feel, again, those, the outer edges of your shoulder blades. You're popping your hands behind your head, inhaling. As you exhale, bring the elbows forwards. So they're now pointing up towards the ceiling. They're just going to stay in the peripheral vision as you curl yourself up. Just the tips of the shoulder blades again, and then rolling back down. If you've got lots of cushions behind your head now, you probably want to get rid of one, or maybe all of them, so you can feel that movement. Good. And make sure that we're not trying to curl up that tailbone. We're keeping the sit bones and the tailbone relaxed. Well done. You can open out your elbows as you come back down. Carolyn, bend your knees and have your feet flat on the floor. Yeah, that's right. Good. So you are now going to add on with the toe taps. Yeah, we're going to put those two together. So we now come up to a curl up position. Relax your head into your hands. Yeah, so the abs can do this work of pulling you up. You don't need to be super high. And then you're going to bring one leg up to tabletop and then the other. And we toe tap from here, down and back up. Can you imagine that my hand is there? Yeah, and you're kind of pushing into it. There's a little bit of resistance. I'm actually juddering a little bit with this one. So this one is quite tough. Think about your thigh going away from you rather than bending at the knee. That's it. So if you start to kind of feel less work in the abdominals, you've probably come down a little bit through the head and chest, or you started to bend the knee too much. Yeah, it's become more of a can than a toe tap. Well done. 2 more each side. Nice. Inhale and exhale. Good. And then you can rest, hugging in those legs. If you know you have a problem rolling up with straight legs, then use this opportunity to just get yourself rolling up to sitting. Straighten out your legs, and then you can roll down from there. If you're fine with the roll up, then stay long and reach your arms behind you. Inhale. Try to flex the feet as you roll up. Think about reaching up and over your ribs. And then inhale, start to tilt that pelvis, roll away from your legs. Trying to push the heels down into the mat. And then rolling back. So that's the full roll up. Yeah, remember you can modify this. Well done, Lizzie. Yes. So you can modify this by putting a little cushion behind your lower back to help you get through that little bit, which often escapes some people if you've got a particularly kind of exaggerated lower back curve. Or of course you can bend your knees. It feels a bit unfair to say don't muscle through it because it's a hard exercise, I know, but try to think about how can I make this exercise less shouldery? Yeah, so how can I relax my shoulders throughout it? Well done. And you have to be really honest. If you're kind of gripping through your thighs, your hip flexors, you maybe need to bend your knees a little bit. Good. I mean, they're definitely improving, eh? And again, if you kind of also, you can imagine someone holding down your feet or having that, yeah, a little bit of energy in the feet does help. Lovely work. one more time through, please, and then you can remain on your back. It's not a race. That's it. They seem to get faster and faster as we go through. Well done, Juliet. Really nice. They're coming on as well, aren't they? Yeah, really good. Okay. So the next one is single leg circle. So once you come down to your mat, you can put your head back on cushion or block. Again, really we want, again, the torso to feel relaxed and connected. So that's why I always say put something behind your head for this hip mobility work, because if your ribs are already up and we're kind of extended, then when we start to lift the leg, the body's got no chance of kind of keeping stable. So get yourself into a comfy position. That's it, bend the knees. Have a little tilt through the pelvis and just relax for a moment. Take your arms out wide. And when I say wide, they can be just like a small, like a V shape on the ground. If you want to use your band, absolutely go for it. You're going to lift one leg into tabletop. And then I want you to find some energy through that other foot that's pushing into the floor. Fill up the back of your mat. Inhaling, feeling the ribs and the shoulders. And then extend your leg as long and as straight as you can get it. Keep the toes pointed and then start to circle. Okay, so as I said, it's as long and as straight as you can get it. So it wants to be, it's never easy. It wants to feel like it's fluid. Maybe that's a good idea. Yeah, so use the breath. I like to think about my inner thighs doing some work. I come around. Well done. And then swap direction. We're doing some circles on our sides in this session, so we won't do too many of these. 5 in each direction. That's it. And obviously everyone will be at a different pace because some people's circles are bigger than others. Good. And then hug in. You can stretch your other leg along the mat to get a nice little hip stretch. Good. And then bring that back in and start on the other side. So press into that leg that you've just worked. So we've got a little stabilization for the hips. Again, notice if your shoulders and jaw become a little bit tense from that, relax them and then start again. Yeah, so if you are flexible and you're feeling good about this, you know, go for it. Go for big circles, but not at the expense of your body going here, there and everywhere. The more you can fill up the mat with your back, steady you should feel. Lovely. Brilliant. 5 in each direction. And then we're hugging the leg in, going for that stretch. Bravo. I'll just wait for everybody to finish their circles. Make sure you've had that second hip stretch. And then we're going to hug both legs in towards the chest. Lift the head, start to rock and roll up to sitting. Well done. We're going to do rolling like a ball. So you're going to pull your legs in and you're going to again think about this idea of pulling in and then the elbows going wide. Yeah, so the legs don't have to be together. You can still be hip distance apart. And then we're going to think about a wide back. Inhale, drop the gaze, roll back, exhale, come back up and balance if you can. Just move that cushion so my head never touches the floor. Yeah, it's the shoulders that we balance on. If you're feeling a bit dizzy, maybe don't do these. You can just do a seated roll back if you've got any ear stuff going on. Good, well done. And think about those heels staying close to your bottom. Yeah, so I'm seeing a few of these. Yeah, which, you know, are fun. We've got to be a little bit disciplined in Pilates. Well done. Nice. Just a couple more. Nice work. Brilliant. Okay. And then this next one is going to be with absolute control as we bring the heels towards the bottom. We start to roll back. You're going to try and slow it down so you can feel that little bit of abdominal pressure, and then just come into your single leg stretch position. So just to the top of the shoulder blades, legs are hip distance apart. I'm going to take both hands to my right shin and stretch out the left leg away. And then we swap. And then we swap. Let's try this evening with a flexed foot. How does that feel? You push the leg away, yeah, the foot is flexed. The other one can be pointed or flexed. I think it's easier to do the same thing on both sides. It just feels too weird. Point the toes again. It's just an offering. It's no big deal. That's it. Go 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Very nice. Hug the knees in, bring the head down. Should be nothing behind the head at the moment. So we can just have a little shoulder bridge in between the single leg stretch and the double leg stretch. So put your feet back down, hands by your sides, and just do a nice little shoulder bridge. And use it for what it is. It's that stretch through the front of the body, and then a lengthening through the back of the body as you come back down. Just do one more. So it gets a nice little stretch and a little relief for the neck. Well done. And relaxing all the way down. Bravo. So then we're going to hug the knees back in. We're doing double leg stretch now. Remember, there is an option here. You don't have to always have your head up. You can come down here and just practice from there and hug the legs back in. Yeah. If you're curling up here, you could just take your arms to your ears and then come back in. You have any shoulder issues, or the full one is reaching out and then circling around. Inhale, reach out and circle around. I don't really like the word scoop in Pilates, but there is this kind of shape here, yeah, that we are trying to maintain as we take the arms long. That lower back should be on the ground. Really nice. Obviously, the lower the legs go, lovely done. Really amazing work there. Really nice shape. Great. One more. We don't need to do too many of these. Good. And then rest. Brilliant. Head down. Have a little stretch. Take your arms and legs away from each other on the floor. And then I'd like you to keep the feet on the floor for this next bit. Extend your arm out to me. Yeah, on the camera. That's it, as if my hand's disappeared because it's coming through the screen to you. You can put your head back on a block here, but you're going to be putting your other hand behind your head. We did a little bit of this last week. So instead of curling up, we're going to be rolling along the shoulders towards the long arm. So I'm going to take my left elbow and I'm going to reach it along or across the body to my right arm. And my gaze is going that way as well. Yeah, so you don't actually come up, you just roll and back to center.
Is your palm up or down?
Palm up, good question.
Okay.
Palm up. Yes, because you couldn't see it. Excellent, thanks, Liddy. Yeah, so palm up, you're lying like that, and you're going across. So it's like a little open book, but we're going to add on to that to make it a little more abdominal work. So as we go across this time, I'm taking my left elbow over to my right. I'm going to pick up the right leg and continue that roll. You should feel a little bit of work in the waist here, and then the leg goes back down and we come back down. So we pick up the left elbow over to the right and the right leg lifts. So you're always going in opposition, yeah, which is like the crisscross. Let me just come in and check everyone's got this. Yeah. And we've kind of got to resist the temptation to start curling up when we lift that leg. We're still rolling across the shoulders. Nice. And just do one more that side. Great. And then let's try the other side. So straighten out your arm, the other side, palm up, hand behind the head. And we do a few rolls first. So if you've got a bit of tightness on your back, this is a really nice way to kind of iron it out a little bit. I don't mind if you're breathing in or out as you come through on this roll, but you might notice that when you start to pick up your leg, you'll need to do an exhale just to get this working. Good. Start with the leg lift now. Rolling across, lifting the leg. Yeah. Do we like this one? I hope so. Just becomes a lot less stressful as a crisscross. I always feel like, again, crisscross can be a little intense. Well done. I think 2 more. And then we should be even. If you are better at counting than me, which is extremely possible, just make sure you even up. Okay, well done. All right. And then you can roll yourself up to seated, please. We are now going to either sit with your legs straight in front of you with your feet flexed, and try and sit up as tall as possible. So remember, there's loads of things. Tight hamstrings, you can bend your knees, or you can lift yourself up. Yeah, so a little block or a cushion will just help you to sit up a little bit taller. Yeah, don't be afraid to sort of build the floor up to allow yourself to feel freer in the spine, because we're going to come forwards now, so we'll need that space. So from here, again, legs are a little bit wider than parallel, arms are in front. I want us to do a little extension first. So that just means that we're going to lift the arms up and just see where you can get to without your ribs sort of pushing forwards. So you might just get to here, that's fine. Okay, and then bring your arms back down. So it's like we're hitching a ride. We're going to take the thumbs up and then they're going to point behind us. Good. We're not bending the back at all. We're just trying to keep the back quiet and extend through the shoulders. Nice. Inhale. Up. Exhale. Down. I should have also said you could always do this cross-legged. So if you're kind of pulling, if it's kind of pulling too much at the front of the hips, that's another option. Okay. Good. Last one. And then we're going to keep this imaginary wall behind us, start to peel the head from it. Start to peel the shoulders. And you're still trying to keep contact with this imaginary wall behind you as you start to reach your head forwards. So as top spine comes away from it, the bottom spine is coming towards it. And then we start to reach a little further forwards with the head. Good. And then we start to build the spine up right from the bottom. We're starting to stack, 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 and try and meet that imaginary wall again. If you've got a wall handy, use the wall. You'll, if you've got something to have feedback, it can be really good. That's it. Well done. So we can add on with this by each time we come up, inhale, reach the arms up. Take the arms down and in front and exhale forwards. Again, how can we make this an exercise that is not just all shoulders? Yeah, so if you started to come up here a little bit, maybe you just need to take a little break. Yeah, and then reach forwards again. Yeah, so ask yourself each time, how can I relax my shoulders for this next move? Lovely. Claire, very impressive as always. Dealing with the pets. Yeah, nice. And Richard W, I think, yeah, that's perfect position for you. Yeah, so it just takes the legs out completely and you get a lot more movement through the thoracic. So I'm pleased with that. Good, last one. And then just have a little wiggle of the shoulders. And if you're on a block, get off it because we're going to do open leg rocker now, which I feel like we haven't done for ages. Might have done it a couple of weeks ago. So first things first, you do not have to have straight legs, remember. You do have to be with the hands on the back of the thighs, and you're going to pick your legs up. So we're trying to be like a V shape here. Yeah, so straight through here and straight through the back of the thighs. So we're kind of leaning back a little bit. The arms are going to be straight. So find your balance point on your sit bones. Make sure we're clear at the back of us. And then from there, start off by again tilting the pelvis. Inhale, roll back onto the shoulders. Exhale, come back up and balance. Yeah, so just have a little go of that. It's quite fun just getting your bum off the ground. Yeah, so you're kind of going into a little inversion and then coming back. You cannot slow this down. Yeah, you have to go with it. Well done. Good. If you are, make sure you're not going back onto your head. All right. So if you are happy with this and you've got some flexibility, try and straighten out one leg, bring it back in. Straighten out the other. I can see a couple of people just laughing at me. Going, what? Okay, it's fine. It is what it is. Your legs are your legs. And then if you can, reach both legs straight and then look down towards your belly to rock back and then come up, and you've got to reach. You've got to use your abs. You've got to reach up through the chest to get you back to that V. Doesn't matter if you're here. Make your arms straight. Practice coming up here and balancing. I think the balance is the hardest bit. Yeah, never mind getting your legs straight. That will come in time. I promise. Well done. Lovely. Just a couple more. Feel free to just rest. If you always have a really good go at these. I'm always really impressed on the first day with you all. Well done. Nice. Okay. What we always need to do after that is rinse ourselves out the other way. So come onto your belly, please. And just have a little lie down. Feel free to have a little drink as well. I mean, not that it's warm, but you have been working pretty hard. All right. So you can start off with your hands beneath your head. And we're going to just do this little pelvic tilt lying on our fronts, first of all. So just have a little wiggle. Let your lower back relax. And then I want you to almost think about the sit bones coming up. So your bum's going to come up towards the ceiling. You might actually have some space under your pelvis, between the pelvis and the floor. And then you're going to send the sit bones down towards the mat. So the pubic bone starts to deepen and it almost starts to reach up towards the ribs. Yeah, so the ribs and the pelvis feel connected at the front. and then relax everything. Let the bum come up, let the sit bones come apart, and send those sit bones down and together. Pubic bone forwards, ribs are connecting. Good, and then release. This is fairly internal. It's very hard for me to detect through the screen. Everyone's a bit different. Yeah, so I'm hoping that the bones idea helps you out a little more. Next one, keep it there. So your lower back should feel really supported, yeah, because all of your abdominals have lifted and the ribs are feeling like they've got elastic band towards the hip bones. And from here, you're going to tuck your toes under. You're going to keep that pubic bone exactly where it is as you press through the heels, and the knees will lift and you stretch out those legs. Okay, the knees relax, you uncurl the toes and bring them down. Okay, so you can relax the bottom each time in between, and then again send the sit bones down, send your pubic bone up towards the front of the ribs, tuck the toes under, press through the heels. So you're finding as much length and then relax everything down. You're finding as much length in the back of your body, yeah, the posterior chain, as possible. We're trying to train the front of the body to connect to support it when you do your extension work. Nice. Good. If this is feeling okay, then we are going to now again do the same process. Relax the bottom, then tuck or send the sit bones down, pubic bone forwards and up towards the front ribs. Tuck the toes under, press through those heels so you stretch out the back of the legs and the knees lift. If that causes you any pain, of course, come out of it. All right, if you can stay with this, great. And you're going to point the toes and you're going to hover those legs. Hover the legs. They've not come any higher, it's just that you've moved the feet away. Then tuck the toes back under and relax the knees. Okay, let's just do it one more time. Press down through the pelvis. Pubic bone reaches up. Good. Tuck the toes under, press through the heels, and then reach, point through the toes. Both legs are hovering. You hold that position, and then tuck the toes back under, release the knees. Good. From here, we're going to come into a little extension. I'm going to do like a full dart, but the hands are going to stay underneath the forehead for this one. So we're going to press down through the arms, feel the shoulders start to engage. Yes, the shoulders should kind of feel like they've switched on, and the head and chest rather is coming forwards, and then we come back down. That's your little extension, just your upper back moving, coming up as you reach the chest bone forwards, coming down as you let everything settle into the mat. Good. Just try that twice more. Good. Then we're going to put those two together. Okay, so come down from that last one. And relax and wiggle your bottom a little bit so your pelvis can just go back to its neutral. And then you can set up again. So you're going to send your sit bones down towards the mat. The pubic bone reaches up towards the front of the ribs. Feel the ribs start to engage. It's like they're trying to climb down to meet the hips too. And then we tuck the toes under. We press through the heels. The knees are now lifted. You're now going to press through your arms and send the head and sternum forwards. Good. If that feels good, yeah, it's not picking up anywhere in the lower back, then you can now point the toes so your legs are hovered. Beautiful. Keep breathing, hold that shape. Really nice. And then just relax everything down. Wonderful. Let's do that again. Start with the pelvis, tuck the toes under, press through the heels, head and Sternum, go forwards. Point the toes, hover the legs. Good. And then come back down. So this is a bit like swimming, isn't it? But now you're going to extend your arms forwards. Okay. I'm going to do all the same things, yeah, but now your arms are straight in front of you or in a kind of a wider Y shape. Why? Because I said so. That's it. Good. Straight arms. Lovely. So from here, again, relax the bottom and then start with the pelvis. Start to tuck under, pubic bone reaching towards the front of the hips. The head is still relaxed at the moment. We tuck the toes under, we press through the heels. We start to hover the head and send the chest forwards. Okay, now can we point the toes so both legs are lifted, they're hovering. Now can we join with the arms so the arms hover, and then can we start to move those arms and legs so we're going for a little swim. Good, and I'm hoping that all of that setup is just going to make you feel a little stronger through the center. Yeah, so the ribs aren't poking into the mat too much, you're just feeling long. I'm just going to go for a nice gentle swim. Good work. 2 and 1. Relax everything. Very nice. Hands underneath the shoulders. Push yourself back into child's pose. Relax there for a breath or 3. Try and breathe into your lower back here. Very nice. Okay, I think I'm just going to take this off to demonstrate the next bit. All right, so we will now come up to, yes, we'll do this kneeling side bend first, I think. So if we could come to kneeling and kind of face the camera so I can see you a bit better like this. So you're going this way on your mat. That makes sense. Okay, I think everyone's happy with kneeling. You can always put a block underneath your bottom if this is too much. Reach your one arm up, no matter which one, and just go for a little side bend. You notice how I always say little before something big's coming up. This is a little bit, little side bend, nice and gentle. That's it, good. Oh, Margaret, it looked like you did a little somersault then with the camera. On this next one, can you take the arm over and then can you look up? Get a little stretch, should just enhance that stretch. If the arm feels too much for the shoulder, you can just do that and look up. Okay, this one's quite nice. And then bring it back to centre. Reach your other arm over and look up. So you've done a little twist. Might take you into extension. If it's going to, again, pull on the lower back, just bring yourself forwards a little bit. Maybe over-edit it a little bit. Good. Okay, so from here, we're going to come up onto our knees. I'm a bit upset that half my head's cut off, but never mind. You know, reach your arms out wide. And then we're going to do a little tip from side to side. Okay, so we're going to reach out wide, tip to one side, find the floor as the other leg reaches out long. Yeah, this arm can come straight up towards the ceiling. Nice. Bend the knee. You can push yourself off a little bit to come back up. And the aim is to just land softly. Yeah. And use these little side muscles. I'm going to just adjust this a little bit. Use your side muscles on here to get you back up. Okay. We also want you to think about what you just did on the floor, sending your pubic bone forwards and connecting up to the rib. So when you tip, yeah, the pubic bone is reaching forward, the head and chest are coming back a little bit. Nice. If this is something that you'll look to be nailing it, but you might not feel that way inside, If there's something that you just want to keep on practicing, yeah, just keep on going with that. Keep on tipping side to side. Otherwise, we're now going to try a kneeling side kick. So we're going to tip over, reach long, take the foot down, either keep your arm up here or traditionally we put it behind the head. Okay, again, it's really important that we close this area at the front. So the pubic bone is reaching forwards, head and chest back. Can you reach the leg up? Just see how high you can get it. Yeah, and then from here, kick forwards, kick back, kick forwards, kick back. This is not for you. Just do that little tipping from side to side. Good work. And 2. Nice. And 1. Really good. Bring back to center, lift the arm, bend the knee, reach, pick yourself up. Have a little rest. They're intense, aren't they? Come back up. Okay. Alternatively, if you still want to do the side kick, do your side lying. Yeah, if this is too much on the QLs or down the side of your back, then that's the other option. So we tip, we land lightly, we take the leg down to the floor so we can set our bodies up, yeah? You want to really think about being long through the shoulders. You could just be on your fingertips as well here, guys, if your wrists are hurting. Pubic bone forwards, ribs and head back, and we lift that leg forwards and back. Either hang behind the head or it can stay up towards the ceiling. There's always one side that you think, oh, you know, why is that leg not going as high? It's just about that leg being a little bit stronger. Good, keep it going. 3. If you've had enough, have a little stretch off. Yeah, keep moving. Yeah, good. And then bend the knee, bring it back down and rest. Woohoo! Well done, everybody. So you might want to just again go into a child's pose there, just to stretch off that lower back. Bravo. Love it. Okay. So I think as still going to stay with side stuff, but I think it will help just to recover from that side kick to come into a little mermaid rotation. So if you can sit with your legs in that Z-sit position, great, let's do that. If that's not happening for you tonight, you can do a cross-legged, okay? So depending on your hips, see where you are. You're going to reach your arm up and over. So you're going in the direction of the knees, which always makes sense to me. So I hope it makes sense to you. Good. So, you know, you've compounded and contracted a lot of those muscles on the side, just taking that bit of weight. So we're now opening out. Good. And then we are going to lift that arm up and we're going to rotate. So hands are on the floor and they're parallel. You're just looking between the hands. And you might just want to stay here for a moment and breathe. This can be quite intense. You can also feel free to bring the hands a little bit closer or further away, yeah, to make yourself feel a little more comfortable. The first thing we're going to do is just gently push the ground away, drop the head, and feel the pelvis just tuck under a little bit to get a flexion all through the spine. And then you're going to send your chest forwards. Start looking up the wall and the bottom will lift ever so slightly. Good. And then again. I prefer to do an inhale as I reach the chest forwards and an exhale as I push away and flex the spine. The push and pull through the hands is really quite gentle because you're already in a twisted position. I'm just going to come in and just check everyone is in a right position. Yeah, good. Yeah, well done. Lovely. And then we can well, you're quite welcome to stick with that. Some people love this and feel like they could do it all day long. If you want to come with me, we're now going to come back to the center. So we're either flexed or extended. Come back to flat back, and then you're going to bend your elbows. So you reach over your front thigh, and then come back up. Bend, come back up. Now, it doesn't matter if your belly is touching your thigh, but I do want you to kind of try and lift it away. Yeah, so the muscles are protecting that lower back. And it doesn't matter how far you get. It's a bit like pigeon pose, I suppose. It just depends on your flexibility range. Well done. Good. I want to do just one more on that side. And then just slowly unravel. So take your arm forwards first. Bring yourself back to facing me. And then have a little counter stretch. Well done. Bring your legs forwards. Just have a little moment. Just notice how your spine feels. Quite often you can be really skew whiff from that move. So it's quite a fun thing to feel. And then let's go to the other side. So sitting up nice and tall, reaching your arm up and over, just finding that little bit of openness through those upper ribs. I don't mind, again, if your arm is slightly forward, as long as you're looking forwards. Yeah, we've got the spine in the right shape. Yeah, it doesn't matter too much because your shoulders just tight. That might be extending you with it, all of it back by the ear. Nice. And then from here, take the arm up, rotate. Put the hands on the floor and just breathe. Feel that rotation of the rib cage. Imagine your rib cage being soft and malleable, because it is. And then you can gently start to move whenever you're ready. Yeah, so you can push gently away, drop the head, and then pull, send the chest forwards. Okay, so we're really, it's like you're a sponge, and we've wrung you out one way, and now we need to wring you out the other way. There's going to be a moment or two where your body needs to kind of rehydrate and get back to balance. So that's why I want to do all of these movements nice and slowly, so the unraveling can happen. Good. Arms still stay straight on this one. Yeah, so we're just doing the flex and extend. Don't worry, if you've been doing that, you can do the other one now. Then you're going to bend your elbows, flat back, forwards, and back up. And so you bend and you're still reaching forwards the whole time through the top of the head. And back up. Good. Think of these as your prep press-ups, where you barely got any weight in the wrists and hands. Lovely, Helen. Good. Very nice. And just one more there. So we have to get our little plank bit in and then unravel. Good. Counter stretch. Reach up and over. Well done. Okay. Bring yourself to all fours and just use this as a little, that moment where, if you like the description of being a sponge, your sponge is just rehydrating. Okay. So you just do a little bit of cat and cow just to get yourself sorted. That's it. Good. We've only got a couple of minutes to get these planks in because I was probably enjoying that a bit too much. So Tuck your toes under. Come back into a little ball. Press your heels down, bottoms up, and then just gently start to feel the weight in your forefoot, and then roll up. Stack the body. Good, we won't faff about the cameras. Reach your arms up. Big stretch. Take your arms down. Roll forward. So get the head to look down first. It's just a roll down for the moment. Once you find the floor, I want you to again lift your ribs, lift your belly button. So the body is trying to lift you up as you now walk forwards. 4, 3, 2, 1. Let your head pop out last. Press through the heels. 1 push up. That's it. Then drop the knees. Then straighten the legs. Then lift the bottom. Good. And then walk back. 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a breath. Let your head sink. Roll up on the exhale. Well done. Lift your arms. Big inhale. Take the arms down. Rolling down. Walk out. Lift that center. 4, 3, 2, 1. Press the head out last. Press back through your heels. Good work. 1 push up. Down. And up. Nice. Knees bend. Then straighten. Good work. You're going to either hold that plank or you're going to reach one leg long, pick it up. Put it down. Reach the other leg. And put it down. Bottoms down, please, folks. That's it. And again, lift, lower, lift, lower. Nice work. Lift the bottom into your pike. Good work. You could then do a little roll out through the feet. So you get a little bit of stretch through the legs. Heel drops. That's it. Bend one knee as the other heel drops. Fabulous. Then walk your hands back. 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the head. Exhale as you roll up. Bravo, everybody. You might think you're unlucky or lucky that we've run out of time. So stand tall, have your heels together and your toes apart. Give your wrists a little shake out. Put your hands behind your head. That's it. Good. From here, look straight ahead, bringing that head back a little bit more into the hands. So you've got a wide neck. Lift the heels, lower the heels. Lift the heels, lower the heels. Twice more. Lift and lower and lift and lower. Well done. Bring your arms all the way around. Give yourself a round of applause. Bravo. Really good work. I'm sorry we ran out of time. If anybody wants a 90-minute Pilates lesson, then please do email me.